You could have the best story, the best intentions, even the best campaign manager, and still lose. More often than not, a lot of candidates make the same mistakes on their first run. In this video, I want to talk about some of those mistakes, so hopefully you don't have to make them. My name is Mo Brown. I've run for office. I've helped others run for office. I've won plenty of campaigns, and I like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to political campaigns. There's a lot of duplicating the same work, very little originality on campaigns because the things that work do work. So we repeat those same things over and over, and there are some things that we know don't work. Today I'm breaking down what I think are the top 5 mistakes candidates make when running for office. These are some mistakes I've even made myself. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 5, you gotta engage your personal network. Other people aren't gonna support you if the people who know you don't. You need to build that rapport early. You need to convince them why you're a good candidate for office. And if they don't think you're a good candidate, you need to take in that feedback and see why. I don't know why people don't do it. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's pride. But your personal network, these are the people who are going to donate to you the most. These are the people who are going to volunteer. This is your base, and you can't neglect your base. You can't neglect your base. Too often I see candidates try and, speak to the voters or the people, which is good. You need to do that. However, you need your base. If your base doesn't support you, it's going to be really hard for other people to get on board. Number 4. Neglecting the hard ask. The hard ask is going to be your number 1 tool when it comes to getting elected. I may do a video specifically just on the hard ask. I think it's so important. Can I count on you for your vote? Will you donate to this campaign? Can you show up to this rally on the weekend? And wait. You're going to use this tool so often throughout the campaign, and I think early on you want to accept that it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's for the better because it's going to help you get elected, which in turn is going to help them and your community. Number 3, talking to the wrong voters. So often you'll see candidates try and reinvent the wheel, use this campaign as the moment to, revolutionize this community. That's false. Your campaign for office is not the moment to revolutionize the community. If you want to revolutionize that community, you should go into that community and talk to them about their needs and what they want. What you want is to get elected. There's people who vote and then people who don't vote. You want to talk to the people that are most likely to vote, and that in itself can be a whole video. But on the y-axis, what we have is people who support you the most and then people who will never support you. So like if that person is a 1, that means they're down for me. There's a bunch of, 1s in this community that are eligible to vote for me. They're gonna vote for me. On the same token, there are 5s. There are people who no matter what I do, they're not gonna support me. There's a million reasons people are not gonna support you, but once you realize that, once you know for sure this person isn't gonna support me, you gotta get out of there. Your most valuable asset on campaigns is time. Mismanaging time, and if you're using time talking to people who aren't gonna vote for you, it's a waste. On the flip, you don't want to talk to people who absolutely support you either, for sure. You want to get your people activated, for sure, but you want to limit how much you're talking to your people. I've been on too many campaigns where it's just the same 8 people in the room talking to each other, and it's like we gotta get out and talk to the people who don't know us. Too often you see campaigns focusing on the extremes, and where you meet people is in the middle. You want to spend as much of your time talking to the right voters, and honestly, that's probably a class in itself. But no, number 3, talking to the wrong voters. Number 2, not taking fundraising seriously. Campaigns are expensive. You gotta pay for mail, you gotta pay for lawn signs, you gotta pay for palm cards. You gotta pay for, ads of some kind. You gotta pay for all of these different things, staff, all of these different things, and unfortunately they cost money. And fundraising is not something that's gonna happen on its own. You have to lead the fundraising. Fundraising needs to be on your calendar the same way knocking doors is on your calendar. The same way, showing up to a public event is on your calendar. It has to be a priority. Unfortunately, our campaign finance system is the way it is. We need to overturn Citizens United, which is definitely a whole nother video. Overall, I've seen way too many a campaign lose or miss the mark because they just didn't take fundraising seriously. And you don't want that to be you. Okay, before I give you guys the number one reason that candidates, or the number one thing I think candidates do wrong when they're running, I want to go over some honorable mentions. So honorable mention number one is not believing in yourself. Most candidates talk themselves out of the campaign. They have that inner monologue with themselves and they really psych themselves out to say, you know, I don't think I'll be able to do this. You know, I'm not smart enough. I'm not well connected enough. I'm not, you know, hungry enough. And more often than not, you definitely have candidates who tell themselves they're not good enough, and you are. It has to come from within. There's nothing I can tell you to show you that you're good enough, but I'm just a regular guy. I am a veteran. I think that helps. I'm not perfect by any means. I don't come from money. There are several candidates around the country like me, like you. We can't let our inner monologue be the reason we don't run, and too often that's the case. We hear, you know, so-and-so is running and we're like, oh, that person is so much better than me, but they don't share your values. They don't have your passion. They don't have the things that make you special for this community. And when that is the case, you can't let yourself psych yourself out. Honorable mention number two, is not realizing the impact this has on your family. Campaigns suck, period. When you make the decision to run for office, you are also making the decision to forego soccer games, to forego choir recitals, to forego plays, to forego, you know, doing the dishes on certain nights. There are certain things that you do that you don't realize you do. You're just so accustomed to doing because they're natural, and you do them as a part of a team, as a part of a family, and now you can't do those things because you're running for office. You can't go to, you know, you can't pick little Johnny up from football practice because you have to, you know, knock doors and collect signatures. It has such a bigger toll on your family than you realize. I won't name drop, they'll know it if they see this, but I know a candidate ran for office and like their kids were getting bullied because of their, you know, parent running for office, and that's a thing that happened. Candidate won, so but like those things happen and you want to be prepared for it. You want to know ahead of time. You want to, you know, talk to your significant other. You want to talk to your family, aunties, uncles. You know, I might need some extra childcare because I'm gonna have to go to this, you know, event. It sucks, but it will be worth it. However, it shouldn't catch you off guard. It's definitely something you should think about ahead of time and be prepared for it. Drum roll. I might put the sound in there. The number one thing I think candidates do wrong when they're running for office, if you know me, you knew this was coming, but not prioritizing direct voter contact. Boy, lawn signs don't win elections. Billboards don't win elections. You want to have as many one-on-one conversations with voters as possible. Those one-on-one conversations are more impactful than almost anything else you could do as a candidate. Likes aren't votes. Retweets aren't votes. Donations, fortunately, donations are not votes. Email subscribers, not votes. Lawn signs, if you have, you know, if you put your lawn sign at that perfect corner right when people get off the highway and they can see it and it's like, yeah, you got them. That's not votes. Direct voter contact. You, as the candidate, speaking directly to people, can't be replaced. You speaking to people directly, one-on-one, is gonna have such an impact. I see it all the time where candidates just don't get that, and it is by far the number one reason I think campaigns fail. So let me know what you think. Did I forget anything? If you're serious about running or thinking about running, hopefully you don't make these mistakes. I can admit I did make some of these mistakes 2 years ago, but I won't again. If there's a mistake you've seen candidates make that I didn't mention, please drop it in the comments. If there's one that you made and you want to, you know, highlight it so other people don't make it, be sure. I know this is on public, so people on both sides are gonna see it. I think that I feel confident putting this, content up, because on the left, we are going to put that work in. And we usually aren't the lazy ones. We usually aren't the ones to get, daddy to write a check. And we are going to be the ones that, change this society for the better. So yeah, please be sure to like and subscribe and comment, and tune in for the next one. Peace.